YouTube. How to get the basic functionality going. Just give me 1 second. To get the basic functionality going, we're gonna have a look at channel point rewards that are built in there. We're gonna have a look at commands, and we're gonna have a look at all the actions that you can do. Now, why Streamer.bot? Streamer.bot is relatively new to the market. It's been going probably the shortest of the few bots that are out there. But you've got other bots that people use: Stream Elements, Streamlabs, you've got MoodBot, WiseBot, Nightbot. By far, Streamer.bot will outperform the majority of these bots on the majority of its functions. I've used plenty of bots over the time that I've been streaming over the last 3 years, and Streamer.bot has been the most versatile bot that is out there. So congratulations to Nate for developing it and constantly upgrading and developing this bot to incorporate new things. There's not a lot that this bot can't do, and we're going to show you some of that functionality today. I will be downloading it. I'll show you where to download it. Some of the extensions that you can get. Well, I say extensions, the programs that people have wrote. I've wrote a couple. They're not that hard really to do. And we're going to show you the basics and how to get to grasp with Streamer.bot. I am currently developing some stuff for Streamer.bot. I'm going to start learning C# because if you know C#, you can program this bot to do a lot more functions than its standard set of features. A lot. It is, you know, the scope is just so wide for this bot for you to do what you need to do. And you'll see a lot of YouTube channels out there showing you how to do different things on it, but they may not contain the kind of stuff that you want. You know, you may have someone that shows you how to set up a giveaway bot on Streamer.bot so that you can do giveaways, but it may not incorporate the functions that you need. So I'm going to get you to grasp today of some of the basic functions so that you can tweak these to your choosing. So first of all, I'm going to move over to my main screen, and we're going to show you where to download it from. So let's get over there. So what we're going to do is we have to download Streamer.bot. They do also do Speaker.bot as well. That's completely different. That's for bringing in, you know, TTS into your stream and stuff like that. But what we're doing is Streamer.bot, and we're currently looking at version 2.0.2.2. So we're going to download that, and I'm doing all this with you today. I'm going to show you my current build of Streamer.bot as well, so that you can see what's in there. Okay, so it's as easy as that. Now it downloads as a zip file. So let's just drop that out of the way, and we will go to our downloads folder. So it drops down as a zip folder. So what we need to do, we need to extract this. So I'm using WinRAR. So we just extract it. You can use 7-zip, you can use .zip, you can use anything you want. Just extract it, and it'll create the folder. And inside this folder is everything that runs Streamer.bot. So we're going to go back one, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, and don't leave this in your downloads folder. Please don't leave it in your downloads folder. I've seen a few people actually do this, and then it comes to a point where you want to clean out your downloads folder and you clean out Streamer.bot. Move it to somewhere safe, somewhere permanent. It has to be somewhere permanent. So I've just created this folder here where I'm going to do it for Streamer.bot demo. I'm going to paste it in. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is we can open the folder, and we want to look for the Streamer.bot.exe. Now, there's a Spandy, Tibby. How are you doing? Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in, guys. The first thing you want to do, you can show more options, and if I highlight it properly, we go into show more options, and you can pin it to your taskbar. All I'm going to do for this instance is I'm going to create a shortcut. Now, this shortcut will appear at the bottom. So I'll cut the shortcut and I'll go back one. Now, I don't need to search through that every time now. I've got a shortcut to it here. So we can call this whatever we need. So, Streamer.bot. Now we can link straight in to this version of Streamer.bot. I've already got one copy already up and running, which is what's behind this stream at the minute, which we're going to go through shortly. Let me just minimize that. And we're going to go through quite a few of these tabs. We're not going to go through them all because some of them, you know, I don't use and they're beyond the scope of what I'm doing here. Hey, Bap, how you doing, Bap? So what have we got? We've got a section for viewers, actions, triggers, and sub-actions. This is where we're going to be spending the most of our time with Streamer.bot. We've got cues that we can set up, commands we can bring in. The platform is for Twitch and YouTube. We'll connect them up shortly. Stream apps. This is where we'll connect OBS. If you use Streamlabs, you can connect to Streamlabs and Polypop. Integrations. We'll look at some integrations there as well. We've got Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Voice Mod, Donor Drive, Pulsoid, Heart Rate, Tippy Stream, Treat Stream, Lumia, Streamer.bot website, which you do need to connect, by the way, and we'll go through that as well. VTube Studio for those VTubers out there, crowd control, and for those that use Elgato, connect your Stream Deck and your Wavelink direct connections. We have mid-air, we've got voice control in here as well, so you can control the commands with your voice. Hotkeys, server client settings, your normal settings, and about. So what we need to do first, we need to connect to Twitch. So the first protocol is to go to platforms. But as we run through some of these tabs I am not going to be going through today, and some of them I don't even use. Can we clean up this feature? Yes, we can. If you right click on any of these tabs, you can uncheck. So we're not going to do MIDI today. We'll uncheck MIDI. We're not going to look at voice control, and we're not going to look at hotkeys. So we're breaking them tabs down. We can do these on the lower tabs as well, on some of them, but not all of them. So we can just bring it up to what we need. Now, we've got viewers, we've got actions, action cues. We're not going to use action cues that much. We can slide it away. We can move it nearer the end. Platform, stream apps, again, we'll probably use that maybe once. Maybe once. Then we can obviously minimize that. We've got, so let's have a look. So platform. So we go to platform, we'll go to Twitch, and we go to settings. No, we don't. We go to accounts. I am overstepping myself here. So we go to accounts. So you've got here, you've got your broadcaster account. So this is your Twitch account that you will stream with. You also have a bot account. So that if you have a second Twitch account, you can use that for your bot. Now, it's not necessary to have a second account. It is necessary to have a main account. So all you do here is you click on login, and we get brought up with this screen here. So this is me, Fated Chronicles, over on Twitch. We're connecting to Streamer.bot, and this is all the permissions that we're given. All we do here is authorize, login successful. You've been logged into Twitch. You may now close this page. And we're connected. It's as easy as that. We are now connected. We've got to let it connect to all these different sections down here, to the chat client, the pub sub, and the event sub. So now that is fully connected to our Twitch account. Now, we have to connect it to our OBS as well. So if you give me 1 second, I'll have to open up a second instance of OBS, which I forgot to do amongst everything that I've got set up here. I did forget to open a second instance of OBS. So let me just grab my other instance. Bear with me 1 second. It is back a folder. And in fact, if I go back a folder, it's this one here. This is the one we've been using in previous sessions. So this is my portable version. So we'll open this OBS and we'll show you where to get the information from. So we've got the OBS open here. So we need to connect this to OBS. It is the same if you're streaming it, connecting it to Streamlabs, and Polypop is for voice. So OBS. So all we do here, in this white area here, we select add. So you can right click and click on add. We just give it a name. So I'm just going to call this OBS Studio. The version 4.9 is for anything before or older than version 2.27, which not a lot of you should be on now. You should be on 28, 29, 30. So we need to change this to version 5. This is for the WebSocket. The host, the port, and the password, we're going to grab them now. So where you grab them is you go into OBS, and it's tools and WebSocket server settings. It'll open this little pop-up here. And we first of all, we need to enable the WebSocket server. And then 4455 is the server port. We know that because it's populated automatically because of version 5. So what we need now is we need the host and we need the password. Bear in mind, this is only my portable account. I don't use this account, so it doesn't matter if I show these, but don't show these details to anybody because it's a way for them to connect to your OBS. So we copy the IP. So that goes into host, and then we copy the password. Paste, and then we want to auto connect on startup and reconnect on disconnect 30 seconds. Now, when you first do this, it will not connect straight away. What you need to do is force connect. So you right click and connect and force it to connect to that version of OBS. When it connects, come on, connect. It will connect. Right, let's try the force. Come on, let the force be with you. Connect. It doesn't want to connect to it. Why do you not want to connect to it? He's never done this before. So we can jump in, we can have a look. Let's have a look. I'm just going to go back into tools, WebSocket settings, and double check. Oh, that's why. Enable WebSocket. I didn't click apply. There's the issue. I forgot to click apply when I enabled the WebSocket. Rookie mistake. Don't make that mistake. So now we can connect it. Well, I don't need to force. So now right click and connect. And it should connect now. Apply. Okay. Come on. Connect. It still doesn't want it. It's never done this before. Connect. Come on. Connect. You know you want to. You know you want to. It doesn't want to. What I'm going to do then is I am going to turn off auto connect. I'm going to turn off reconnect, and I'm going to connect it to the version of OBS that I'm currently using. I'm just going to do that off screen a second. So just bear with me. That was, I don't know why it's done that. It's never, ever done that before. Right, let me try a second instance. So what I'll do, OBS Studio, and I'll just put main so that I know it's this one. We're going to change it to version 5. And hopefully you won't see my password. You do see my password, so I'll be changing that as soon as the stream's done. So the one that's for main is that one. So we'll click on connect. So now you see that connected straight away. I'll delete that one. And I'll have to change my password. I'll have to remember to change my password. That's not a problem, because you can, if anyone does see it as well, if you go into tools and you go WebSocket server settings and somebody does see that, you know, you can copy it. You can change it just by going back one and just generate a new password. Clicking that will generate a new password for you. It's not a problem. So now we're connected. We're connected to OBS and we're connected to Twitch. Let me just close that down. I don't need this anymore now. Don't need that version of OBS anymore now. Because we're connected to our main one. So we'll just use our main one to test everything out. So what we're going to do is, bear with me 1 second. So we've connected the account. We've connected OBS. We've looked at tabs and how to clear up some of these tabs and tidy them out. So this one here now, we don't need this anymore. So again, I can turn Steam apps. I can get rid of that as well. If we find that there, it's connected. We know it's all done. This area here is where you'll see viewers that are live in your channel. These are all what are live currently. If you click on this here, which don't do because it can overpopulate, this will give you a list of everybody that's been in your channel in alphabetical order. And this can get very, very long. Don't be deceived by how short this is, because it's only for as long as this version of Streamer.bot has been active. So always make sure that hide, not present, is ticked, and you can only see who's currently in. So we're going to have a look at a few different methods that we can use now. So if we look at queues, queues are created. Where are my queues? There are my queues. Queues, you use these the same way you would have queues at a supermarket. Different queues move at different rates. So if you've got something that you want to, say you've got sound alerts, you would have sound alerts in one queue. And the reason why you would have sound alerts and video alerts in a queue is so that you don't get that overlap. You don't want a sound alert going off for hype and having trumpets blaring while someone is playing a video, set a redeem for a video that plays something that goes off in my stream, £1 fish. And you don't want them overlapping. So you would stick all of them in a queue, and you would make sure that that queue is a blocking queue so that it stops everything from running until that queue is finished. And it will run them in sequential order. So you don't get the overlap, because I've been in many streams where there has been quite a few overlap with sounds, and believe me, it doesn't sound pleasant at all. So always make sure you set up queues for different things. You would use, obviously, a queue for your sound alerts and your videos. You would have a different queue for follower, sub alerts, raid alerts. You would have a different queue for chat messages, messages that are going in your chat from your bot for whatever reason. And we'll go through them in a second as well. So settings, we've got our user interface, we've got a general tab, we've got labs. That's something old. We can create groups in here as well, but that is beyond the scope of what we're doing here today. File and folder watcher. This is for watching files and folders on your system, so that if you turn something on within your PC, because this Streamer.bot will open applications on your PC for you as well. We have timed actions, which we're going to get into shortly. Credits. This is so that you can follow your followers, cheers, subs, resubs, gift bombs. If you've got something on your stream like I have just above me with that scrolling text, and that scrolling text is from Twitch, that is a live Twitch feed. that's going across, that is pulled in from ticking these boxes and for utilizing which information you want to pull in to display on your screen. You've got a quote system. I don't use quotes, so I could turn quotes off here. I don't use C# yet, so I can turn that one off as well. So these are just some of the other areas where you can minimize the tabs. So action queues, we've got server and clients. These are for your WebSocket servers. We'll set that to auto start. Some extras that you do on this, some actions you do require to have these turned on. Your WebSocket clients, your WebSocket servers, they all need to be turned on for certain applications. But the main bulk of what we're going to be doing here today is going to be in this area here, the actions, triggers, and sub-actions. From here, we can control channel points, we can control commands, we can control a lot of things from it. And we're going to show you how to use each section. And by the way, you do have a chat box here as well. So you can open a separate instance of your chat if you need to. And that is straight from there. And we're going to have a look at import and export as well, where you can get extensions from to put in and how to put them in and how to send them to your friends as well. Because I do this regular where I build an application in there using actions, triggers, and sub actions. I'll export them and then another streamer will import them as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some easy ones first. So for some easy actions that we can do that are common, one of them is a shout out. So how do you get this to do a shout out on your stream? So first of all, we're going to the actions. The first thing you have to do is create an action. And this is with everything, whether it is for a command, for a channel point, redeem, but whatever, it has to be an action. And it has to be a unique identifier as well. So we can call this, we can just call it shout out. Make sure I don't get big fingers. Now groups. When we're looking at groups, you see there's nothing in the drop down there. This can be manually done. But what I do for a shout out command is generally done by the mods of your channel. So I will just call this mods so that the mods can do it. And these can be manually input into the group. Now the queue is different. The queue has to be set up in the queue section. So we will have a look at that in just a second so that we can set a new queue up. Random action. These here, we're not going to be dealing with these because it's very, very rare that you will need to change any of these settings. The only one you need to be mindful is that that tick box is enabled. For it to work, it has to be enabled. And this is only identifiable to you. So you can name, you can group, and you can queue it however you want. This is only for your viewing. So while we're here, we'll have a look at a queue so that we can set a queue up, because the only queue is the default queue, which we don't want. We don't want everything in one queue, because then you get your sound alerts, you get your shout outs, you get your chat messages, and they'll all stack one behind the other. And someone could redeem something and they could be waiting quite a while before it goes off. So what we need to do is we need to set up a queue. So we're going to action queue. And we're going into, that's the pending queues, that's the pending action. So anything that's running, you can see here. So if it's a channel point, a command, if it's still got to run, you can see it in this list. We've got the action history. So this is everything that's gone. So this is everything in your history that's happened. This is what's going to happen. And the queue is where we set it up. So this is a non-blocking. So all we do here, we click in the right space, in the white space again, right click, and we go on add. We'll give it a name. So this one, I'm just going to call it mods, so that we know that these are commands that mods are going to do. And we're going to do this as a blocking. Now, blocking, The best way to define what blocking is nothing else will run until this queue is empty. It is your priority queue. So if you set this up, as soon as the mod puts the command in, it will override everything else that is a non-blocking queue. Bear in mind, that is, it overrides everything that is a non-blocking queue. If you have multiple queues that are blocking, it will stack behind them as well. So just be mindful of what you make blocking and what you don't. Blocking is basically your priority queue. So if I want my mods to do a shout out, I want that to be a priority, and I want it to jump in before any more sound alerts go off or any other alerts. So we make that as the blocking queue. So now when we go back to actions, we'll reopen the action and it will be here in the queues. And now we can select it. So now we know it's enabled. The options are none. It's got no triggers at the minute. We haven't set anything up yet. And it's set in the queue for mods. Where's all my gear gone? There we go. So what we need to do now is we need to set up a sub action. The second thing we do is a sub action. So what we need to do here, we go to Twitch. If you've got YouTube connected, YouTube will be in this list as well. So in here, you have core, which are all your core sub actions. And we will go through some of these when we start building different actions up. But basically, the way this works is a trigger will happen in your stream. The trigger sends the command to the action, and the action will follow the sub actions in sequential order. It's the same as when you set up OBS. It runs from top to bottom. So the trigger, it'll click on the, it'll hit the folder, and that will hit all the files within inside it. And that's what these are, just little files inside this big folder that's kicked off by doing this action. So core is all the core systems that are within Streamer.bot. So we've got delays, actions. So you can have an action trigger another action. We've got arguments that we can set in here. We can do C# compiling. We have got commands that we can do. So all this, anything in this one would trigger a command or a command state. We've got files, so we can read from files. And we're going to do a little bit on this as well. Read from files and write to files. We've got global variables. We've got if, else statements and break statements. We've got MIDI, miscellaneous, so we can drop a comment in there as well. Network, so we can fetch URLs. Quotes, if we are running a quote system, which again is beyond the scope of what we're doing here today. Sounds, we're going to do a little bit on today as well. System is keyboard presses. So say, for instance, I've used this in the past. You're playing a particular game. You're playing Call of Duty. And you have a hotkey for changing your weapons, for walking backwards, for firing your gun. You can actually set these up to them hotkeys and set them up to channel points so that your viewers can change your weapon on you. So they can make you jump in the air when you don't want to. So you're crouching behind one of them pallets. You don't want to be seen by the enemy. They can make you jump and make you get spot, make you be seen. You can actually set them up to keybinds to do that as well. Timers, we're going to have a look at timers, users, and voice control. We're not going to touch on voice control because voice control is exactly what it says. If I set up a command like we're doing now for a shout out, the voice control, simply we would set up a voice command up that says shout out such and such a person, and it would respond to that. But you have to type it exactly how you say it phonetically, not how it's actually spelled. I broke away from using it because I found it a little bit fiddly. But yeah, when you type in a voice command, you have to type it in phonetically, not how you spell it. It's how you say it so that it understands. So the first thing we need to do is we've got OBS control here, so we can control. In fact, let's just go through these one by one. So we've done the core. We'll go through OBS so we can get the current scene. We got raw commands. We can take screenshots. We can activate and deactivate filters within OBS groups. We can replay buffer. We can change scenes. We can change sources. We can activate scenes and sources. Polypop is another speech TTS thing. We've got settings where we can look at the color. We're going to have a look at first words shortly. We have got Streamer.bot, which I've mentioned is the TTS version of Streamer.bot. We've got Streamlabs. We've got YouTube. We've got Elgato. Integrations, which is Discord, IFTT, Lumia, VoiceMod, and VTube. But we're looking at Twitch. So if we're going to do a shout out, the first thing we need to do is we need to get the user in. So we've got I'll speak English, broadcaster information, add present user, add random user, get team info for target, get user info for target. What we need to do is get user info for target. The first thing we need to do for any type of shout out. So the source types, we've got broadcaster, which is you. You're the broadcaster. We've got the user. That is the user that actually called the action. Now, your mods are gonna be calling the action on this. So it's not going to be the user, because otherwise they'll be shouting out themselves. We have from input. That is from whatever the user has input. That is what we're going to be using. And variables is, again, beyond the scope of what we're doing here today. We're not going into variables, but for this instance, we're going to choose from input. Because when you do a shout out, you do exclamation, SO, and then the person's name. So it's from the input. Once we've done the input, what we need to do then is we need to go back down to Twitch, because all this is being done through Twitch. Or if you're doing YouTube, you can do it through YouTube as well. Send message to channel. It is just the same, but we're doing it as if we're doing it to Twitch. So we go to chat, and then in chat, we have clear chat messages, reply to a message, send announcement to a channel, and send message to a channel. Now, for these, personally, I would avoid using send announcement to channel for the one reason. Mobile users cannot see announcements, so they will miss any announcements that you have going off. So if you've got something on here where someone will do exclamation IGN for your in-game name, don't have it as an announcement, because your mobile viewers won't be able to see it. Always go with send message to channel. And remember as well, / commands don't work in Streamer.bot like they do on Twitch either. So all we want to do, so this is where we'd set out our bot account or broadcaster account. Now, if you've got that second account as a bot account and you want your bot to make them shout outs, you'd set this to bot. If you don't have a bot account, which is your secondary Twitch account, it will automatically revert to your broadcaster account anyway. So don't worry about making sure this is always set to broadcaster. The only reason you need to make sure it's set to broadcaster is if you do have a secondary account that you've set up as a bot in Streamer.bot, so that you can personalize your messages from you and not from your bot. So in here, what we want is to create a command. So we're just going to type a command in. I'm just going to copy paste this, and then I will go through it. We'll break it down and show you what's what within the command. So I'm going to copy this down and just paste this in. So what this reads now is, hey, please go check out target user. Now the target user is from the input, what we've done, not from the user. It's from the target user, because it's who we're targeting. So it's from target user. So it's percent, lowercase t on target, uppercase U on user. So it has to be done. It's called camel case. and it has to start with a lowercase letter. So it's percent target user with a capital U, who who can be found at https:// twitch.tv/ and again we use the percent target user percent. This is how we put variables inside Streamer.bot. We use the percent. They were last seen playing percent game percent, and that will give the what game they was last playing as well. So this will read, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me just jump across. I'll drag my chat over. Let me get my chat. This is where my Twitch chat is, if it's going to let me grab it. So this is my chat that I've got linked to the Twitch account where this Streamer.bot is linked. So now, if I did a shout out, in fact, it won't work because there's one major thing that I've not done. I have not set the command for it to work. So all the commands set within trigger. So in here, we can set a command up on the command tab or a channel point on the platform, Twitch and channel point tab. But we don't have to do that anymore. Since the last update, we can do it all in here under triggers. And what we want to do is we want to go down in here, right click in the white space, and we're going to Twitch. We're going to add a command. When I find where the commands have gone, I think I'm just being blind today. There we go. It's not a Twitch command. It's actually a Streamer.bot command. Even I'm getting lost on it now. So we've got a command, and we've got a command triggered and command cooldown. We want to go on a command triggered. So we want to trigger this command. We haven't got any commands yet, as you saw when I went on that tab. That is empty. So we can go on create command. So we'll call this one shout out. We're just giving it a name. And again, this is only for your reference. The only thing that a viewer is going to see is what you put in here as your command. So we make sure that we use the exclamation, and we can go SO. If you want to add multiple ways of doing this shout out, you enter and go on to a new line and then do exclamation shout out. So now you've got two ways of following this command. The location will always be at the start when you're doing a shout out, but other options is exact and anywhere. You only want to use start. If you used exact, when you do exclamation, SO, space, and somebody's name, it is no longer exact. It has to be, I have to match exactly what it says in the command. And anywhere, you don't want it to be doing it for anywhere, especially on an SO, because it might just pick up someone putting the word so in your chat, and it might pick it up and do a shout out. So we have this at the start. It's always going to be at the start of your message. The group, again, this is blank, and we can set this up as we did last time, where we can manually input what we need. So again, I will just call this mods. Now, if we're on here, ignore bot account. We don't want it to ignore the bot account. And ignore internal messages. We'll tick them. We'll leave them ticked to standard, because that's where you'd probably leave them all the time anyway. For a shout out. And Twitch message. So this is where it's going, where the source is. The source is the Twitch message. So it's going to look for it in Twitch, in chat. If you're on YouTube, make sure you tick YouTube, and then you can untick. If you stream on both, you can do both. This one will look for a Twitch whisper with exclamation SO in it, a Twitch bot whisper, a Twitch subscription message, or a Twitch resub message. We're not going to need any of them for a shout out. Down here, we've got the cooldown. So we've got global cooldown. This is for everybody. And then we have a user cooldown. That is just for that specific user. So if a user puts in exclamation SO and shouts out somebody, they can't shout out anybody else for a set amount of time. That can always be left at 0 for a shout out. But what I would suggest you do, especially if you've got multiple mods, set a global cooldown. And this only has to be something as small as 5 seconds. So that if one mod does the exclamation SO for you, you call for a shout out and one mod types it in and another mod types it in, it'll only do it the once. Unless the second person does it for over 5 seconds later, which they shouldn't do because the message will already be in chat and they'll see that it's already done. So 5 seconds is plenty. You can always go for 10 if you want to, just to be safe. But 5 seconds seems to be plenty for doing a global cooldown for this. Over the other side here, we've got permissions. So within permissions, we have got available and allowed. And up here, we've got grant type. There are a couple of differences. So what we'll do is if we go through here and we put in available to VIPs, that means VIPs and above can use this message. So that would include VIPs, subscribers, and moderators. Again, if we use subscribers and moderators would be able to use that, including yourself, obviously. And if you use moderators, only moderators would be able to use it. If you leave it blank, everybody can use it. But there is a kind of catch-all situation as well, where we go to user permissions. And if you want certain mods to use it and other mods to not, say you have got somebody in as, you know, a trainee moderator for your channel for whatever reason, and you don't want them to do shout outs in case it messes up or they do too many, or you have a moderator that spams everybody and anybody and you don't want them to do it, you can actually single people out on this as well. So you can find people in here and allow certain people to do them shout outs. Alternatively, you can here on grant type allow all or only. You can change this to deny. And then everybody in here is denied. So when you change this, only the broadcaster now has access to the shout out command, because denied blank means everybody is denied. If you move VIPs in there, VIPs are denied, but only VIPs and above are denied. So that means normal users of your channel will still be allowed to do it. So you would never do it for that instance. You only use this deny if you want to be the only person and you don't even want your mods to have access to certain features. And there are instances for that, and we'll show you some instances for that in a little while. So we're going to leave that on allow all. Now this one, for a shout out, we want on moderators, so that all moderators can do this shout out. So we click on OK, bringing us back here, and we click on OK again. So now we have a trigger. This trigger will activate this action, which will activate these details down here. And what I'm going to do is, I've got a couple of streamers in my chat at the minute, so I'm going to use one of you guys. So I'm going to do a shout out. I'm just typing it in as it is there. This is coming from, I've got to bear in mind here, give me a second, because I've got a second version of Streamer.bot running, which is my main version, which is running. I'm going to have to shut this one down, because otherwise we will get a double action, because I've got two Streamer bots connected to the same Twitch account, connected to the same OBS. So I am going to do a shout out, and I'm going to go to Spandex95, a friend of the channel. So now we will get a shout out. Go follow Spandex95's channel with the link. They are an awesome streamer. In fact, that's come from my bot account, from my other one. The one that's actually come from this streamer bot is Fated Chronicles, who is, hey, please go check out Spandex95, who can be found at HTTPS, twitch.tv, spandex95. They were last seen playing Warframe. Now, if you see here, the variables, target user is Spander, and you've used the same one there to finish off the link. And the game they were playing is also showing. So that is a simple shout out. That's me. Yeah, I'll not leave Tibby out either. So we'll just test this out. So I'll do a shout out. Now, the last time I did this, I used exclamation SO and I used the @ sign. Now, some people have issues with Stream Elements where if you use the @ sign, it does not work. So the way that you'd have to do it with Stream Elements is you do your @ and then you do, and it would come up so that you could actually choose them from a drop-down list and then go back in and remove the @ sign. With Streamer.bot, it doesn't care whether you use it or you don't. It will still only use the name. So you notice before I used the @ sign, it didn't put the @ sign in the name. It didn't say twitch.tv/@spandex95. It just did the spandex95. Now we've got another one. Tibby here, another good friend of the channel. Again, I didn't use it that time and we got the same result. So this shout out is better than Stream Elements in that sense, because it doesn't matter if you use it or if you don't. So you can copy someone's name and do SO and then Control V to paste the name in and then use it that way. Or you can use the @ sign. It doesn't care which way round you do it. So that is the basic shout out. Well, that's only the basics of what Streamer.bot can do. Another thing that you might want to do is you might want to do a lurk and an unlurk. Again, they're only chat commands that are built exactly the same way. The only difference being on the shout out, one of your mods is shouting out another person. So if we went on here and we went add, and we call this one a lurk. The group that we're going to put this in, I'm not going to put this in mods. I'm going to leave it blank. Now, what happens when you leave it as blank is it creates a none section, and these are collapsible. You can minimize these if you have a lot of actions and you want to minimize them. So if you want a lurk command, you create the lurk in the action. In the sub action, again, we go to Twitch user and we still go down to get user info for target. Right. But if you've noticed, we have the favorites section here. Now, if you use something often, which you will, there's a couple you'll use often, you'll use user, get user info from target. You highlight that and right click. And if we go back in here and go back to Twitch, the other one you're going to use quite a bit is chat, send a message to channel and right click. Now, if we go into favorites, they are in there. We don't have to go searching through all these files and folders to actually get to it, all these drop downs. Now we can just go into favorites. So for a lurk, what you would use is you go to Twitch, user, get user info for target. And this time we will be using user. And we're using user because the person that puts exclamation lurk is the person that is going to be lurking. So it's user. Then we need to use a chat command. So it's going to send a message to the channel. I'm going to change this to broadcaster. Again, you don't have to, because I've not connected a bot account. I don't have to change it. It will automatically revert to the broadcaster. In fact, I'll leave it as bot. Let's prove case in point. And then for a lurk, what we want to do is, if we go here and just go, thank you. Thank you. And then we go sent user. This is lowercase, remember. It has to start with a lowercase letter, the variables. It's only the second word that has to start with a capital. So this is just targeting the user. So it's percent user percent. Thank you, user. How are we going to word this? we're just going to go for the lurk. So simple as that. Thank you, user, for the lurk. And we've left it as bot account. And then in here, we have to set up command. So if we go into core, I'll get it right. Commands, triggered. And again, we can right click and have this go to our favorites. That way I'm not looking for it and getting lost anymore. So it's core, commands, command triggered. And again, we have only got the shout out set up, so we need to create the command. So this one is going to be the lurk. The command will be exclamation lurk. And we can leave the group as well, or you can put one in. That is your choice. Again, it's to the start because that's the only command that people would use. The user cooldown. Now, I would put the user cooldown in for seconds because nobody's got, you know, nobody should be lurking more than once every 60 seconds at least. The users allowed, and this is for anybody, so we can leave that blank. Make sure it's enabled. So now this lurk command will trigger this lurk action, which will pull the user's name who put in the lurk command and then send it out as thank you for the lurk. So if I just do that in chat, if I go lurk, and what lurk means, people do ask sometimes, why use lurk? It just means somebody is watching your channel, but not actively. They're there, they're in the background, they're on your channel. Count to your numbers. Lurkers do count to your numbers. And it just lets you know, don't ask me any questions because I'm not here. I might not be listening, but I've got you on. So we lurk, and then it'll say thank you for the lurk. So it's pulled the user's name and actually done that command. It's only highlighted white because it's me. So any command that has the broadcaster's name in it, regardless of whether I'm using it as broadcaster, user, target user, if it's my name on my account, it will highlight for me. We're actually going to step it up a little bit now, and we're going to do a random, like, roll of the dice type of action now, which is how cute am I? How clever am I? How awesome am I? So what we're going to do is we're going to branch out and show you a little more about what Streamer.bot can do. So we've got, what should we do? Shall we call it awesome? Let's call it awesome because my community is awesome. So we'll call it awesome. We can give it a name. We don't have to give it a name, but what I would call it is chat command, because anybody can use it. So we'll put it in a group of chat command so that anybody can use it. Again, it's created its own section. So we've got chat command, awesome. So in the sub actions, what we need to do now is we need to, again, Twitch user get info for target. And this again is user because it's the user's information that we need, because we're going to tell them how awesome they are as a percentage. So we've got the user. And then the next stage we need to do is it's core, logic, and it's get random number. And then in here, it's between 0 and 100. So that we're getting 0 to 100%. The other options you have is next float. Now, what float does, float gives you decimal positions. That's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for whole numbers. We don't need to go decimal and give somebody, you know, like 99.9999999% of awesomeness. 99 will do it. Or 100. So we're picking a random number between 0 and 100%. The next line we need to do is we need to go to a chat message. So it's Twitch, chat, send message to channel. And again, I'll leave that as bot because we don't need to. And I'm just going to, I was going to copy paste that, but I'm not. We're going to write it out. So we'll go % user, so that we know that that's the information that's been pulled in from above, from this action here, from who redeemed. % user % is only and this is random number, so it's lowercase r, capital N for number. So we have to go % random number, and this is a set variable that is within Streamer.bot. God, I'm losing my own words here. I'm forgetting English. And this is because that's a number. We're going to have the second percentage after it. So it's % user %. So that'll pull the variable user is only % random number %, pull in the random number, and then symbol %, which will go after the number. It'll be more clear once it comes out. And this will be awesome. And you can have this worded however you want. So this is going to, we've got awesome, add target info from who redeemed, random number between 0 and 100, and the Twitch message or the user that redeemed it is only % awesome. So now we just need to create the command. So command triggered. Again, we're going to create a new, and I'll just call it awesome. But you can call this cute, clever. You can call it whatever you need to call it. So awesome. So we've got % awesome as the command. The group we don't need. The cooldown, a user cooldown, I would probably put that about 60 seconds. You don't need to be told that you're massive amounts of awesome all the time. You don't want to get too big-headed about it. So 60 seconds is fine. This is in seconds. So we go on OK, and we click on OK again. So again, we've got the trigger that catches the action that sets off all this. So what we'll do, exclamation, awesome. And again, don't forget, can be clever, can be cute, can be anything. Fated Chronicles is only 75% awesome. And just so that it's coming out random, 37% awesome. It's just picking a random number. So now you've got a Q, awesome, however you want to word it, however you want to play it. You've got a random number generator built in Streamer.bot. Let's have a look at how we can improve this even more. What about hugs? People like to give hugs. So what we'll do is we'll create a hug command. So we'll just call this hug. Again, this is only for your information. Group, it's a chat command. Default, we don't need to do anything with that just yet. We can leave that where it is. And do feel free to use these commands as well. Do feel free to use them. So the hug, make sure that's highlighted. We're going into the sub actions, and we are going to get user info for target. And again, this is going to be, which way round was this one? Get info for target, and this is from input. Because we're using two different variables this time, because it's going to be one person that's going to hug another person. So add user target from input. And then we've got a core logic if else. So we go core logic if else. This we're going to complete in a second as well. So if the variable target user, so remember Campbell case, so it's TARGET capital USER, target user equals, and we'll come back to this in a second because we will be using this because we're using an if an if else statement. We'll come back to that. We're just building it in so that everything is in sequential order. So now we need to, let's have a look. We need to now go on to, we've got to create some globals now. We could do this the easy way, but we're not. We're actually going to create this the better, more convenient way for doing this. Because sometimes somebody might just do exclamation hug in your chat and not put anything else. So we need to create something where if they said exclamation hug spandex 95, it would say Fates Chronicles hugged spandex 95. But if they don't put that name, it would just not do anything because it doesn't know what to do with that information because there is no target. So we have to create the target in case the viewer didn't put that person's name. So that's what we're going to be doing in this statement here. So we're using an if-else statement, which we will come back to. So now we need to create some variables. So we'll go on to core, globals, global set. So we're setting the global. And this one will go on to user redeemer, for who redeemed it. The variable name will be, we're going to use, we'll use hug counter on this one. Hug counter. And again, camel case is hug counter. And the argument that will be value increment of 1. So this is to say how many times they've hugged as well. So we're doing a hug counter as well as the normal hug command. Now we need to get that command. So we're going on core, global get, and it's user redeemer. We need to make sure it's persisted so that when you end your stream, the next time you start your stream, them numbers will carry on. They won't start again from 1 every stream. It will constantly keep on going up, and then numbers will carry over stream after stream after stream until you reset them. So what we're going to call this again, we're going to call this hug counter. Again, camel case. So we've got hug counter, hug counter. I've done that wrong. So that's hug, camel case, hug counter, and the default value should be 0. It'll always start at 0. That's them 2 stages done. Now we need to create a chat message. So what we're going to do, we've got it in our favorites, Twitch chat, send message to channel. We'll leave it as the bot. And now we want % user %. That's the user that redeemed it. Gave a big hug. Sorry about this. I am a slow typer. Gave a big hug to % target user. I'm having brain's a bit slow. Target user %. So I gave a big hug to Spander. If that's who I'm giving a big hug to, I gave a big hug to Spander. But what we can also add now, when I, yep, so that's right there. Now, we don't want that. Now, % user, making it personal. We're making it personal. So now % user as given % hug counter. So we're bringing in that variable now. Fat fingers. Always known for my fat fingers. Hug counter. Hugs in chat. And close the parentheses as well. We don't have to do that. That's just like an extra. So what we're doing here is we're pulling the user that redeemed gave a big bear hug to the target user, the user that they actually wanted to give the hug to. Now that that target user or that user who redeemed it has given X amount of hugs in chat. So that's the message that's going to go out. What we need to do now is we need to do a random hug, just in case they don't put that name out. So what we can do for that is we can go into this section here. If we highlight one in this section, chat commands, and then click add, it automatically adds it to that section, to that folder. So we're going to do here, hug rando, or at hug random, rando, so that we know what that is. It's already put it in the group. So for the hug rando, what we're going to do here, so make sure we highlight it, and we're going to go to Twitch and user, and it's add random user. This number here should be 1. We're only pulling out one name, so that should be 1. And this box here, present only, I would suggest you use or you select this box for present only. That means only people that are currently in your stream right now. Bear in mind though, this will pick up your lurkers as well, so you can give lurkers a hug. What you don't want to do is not tick that, because what will happen is it's people that are not in your stream. It could pull a name of somebody that's been in your stream and not been in your stream for quite a while. So I'd rather it pick somebody that's in there now, because then it will give that person a bit of a lift as well. So this is for picking a random. So it's going to pick one random person that is currently in your channel. So that's what that one's doing. So that's one random person. Now what we need to do is, oh yeah, and we do need to, let's have a look. Where am I at? Add random user, count 1, present only, check. Right, so now we can go to the hug, and what we need to do is we need to grab this set. So this is how we copy and paste sub actions from one action to another. So if we select that, we need to move this one, or we need to copy it, I should say. So we can copy the sub action and go down to hug rando, and this is for just getting the variables. And then we go paste sub action. So this is the setting, the hug counter variable. Move back to hug, and then we need to get as well. So again, we will copy the sub action, move back to rando, and paste the sub action. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to grab this text, because this is a long string of text. That's it here now. And I will explain it as we go. So now we want to go back to the chat. So we're going to send a message to chat now. And this one is the user that redeemed, gave, and this has to be random user. So it is lowercase r for random, uppercase U for user, and you do have to include the 0. So it is random user 0, a big hug. Now, the user that redeemed has given, that's got 2 percentages there, has given X amount of hugs in chat. So when you do this one, make sure it's lowercase r for random, uppercase U for user, and a 0 at the end. Now what we need to do is we need to go back to hug, and this if statement, if you remember I said we'll come back to this if statement. So this if statement, which is on the second line. So if the target user does not exist, we've got options here: equals, not equals, contains, regex, less than, greater than, does not exist. So that means if they don't put target user and they just put hug, we want it to do hug rando. So it'll run the hug rando and pick a random user that is currently in your stream. Once it's done that, we want it to break. We don't want it to continue down here. We need it to break at this point and just run that command and stop running the rest of this command. That's why we had to copy and paste the set and the get, because it's going to stop at line 2 if that person hasn't been named. And the bottom section doesn't matter because we're breaking here anyway. If the person is in the chat, it will just carry on down here. So else, don't do any action, just continue down this line. So that is your catch-all for doing a hug command. So you don't just want the hug because they may forget to put a target user. It will pick a random user by using this if statement. There's nobody there, so it'll run over to this command, this action, and follow this route instead. So we've created random numbers. We have linked to other actions. And we don't need a trigger in this one, by the way, because the trigger is already built into the hug command in this if statement. It's already built in here. If they don't exist, do this action. That is your trigger. So in hug rando, you don't need it. But in hug, you do. And I've just noticed I forgot that. So what you would do is you go in here, core commands triggered. We haven't got a hug command yet. So we create, just call it hug. Exclamation hug. Always remember to put that exclamation in. And for this, I'd set a user cooldown of 10 seconds. So they're not hugging everybody. And you want this to be blank so that anybody can use this command as well. And then that is, so if I went in here now and I went in hug, I don't know, I think it's only going to hug myself because there's only me in my Twitch channel because I'm not live on Twitch. So because I don't put it in, I gave myself a big hug. But if I named somebody, so if I went in there and I named Spander, I don't know if it'll do this because I know he's not in my Twitch channel because I'm over on YouTube. Let's see what it does now. There you go, it did it. It gave Spandy a hug. And I've just noticed that I've got 2 eyes. I have got a dodgy keyboard, so I'm going to have to go in and sort that out. There's 2 eyes in the word given. So let's go back in here. And it's always a good idea to test these out to make sure. So that is doing commands. So we've got another route that we can go down. We can go through channel point redemptions as well. So all your channel points are done through here. Now you can see ones that are actually in my channel at the minute because I'm linked to Twitch. It will show what my channel redemptions are, but these work exactly the same. And these work off these buttons down here. So some of these are controlled by Twitch. Some of them are controlled by Streamer.bot when you set them up. And you know which a Streamer.bot controlled them, which are not, because it will show in owned. So TTS is not owned by Streamer.bot. It is owned by Twitch. So I can't amend this in any way whatsoever with Streamer.bot. I'd have to move it over. I'd have to port it over. And the way to do that is you go into your channel point redeems over on Twitch and deactivate them and recreate them within Streamer.bot and let Streamer.bot have control. And I'll bring up my original, my main one, and I'll show you what I mean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break away from this. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm not going to break away from that one because I still need to show you some things yet. But this is my main version of Streamer.bot, the one that I use daily. So if I went here and you know things like hydrate, posture check, stretch, they're all built into Twitch. Deactivate them, delete them. We have a filter here so that we can look for them. So we start typing stretch. And we've got the stretch. This one I've actually brought over. And the beauty of this one is a channel point redeem. So we create the channel point redeem. We can do it on here as the trigger. So we create the action, stretch. We create the trigger, which is stretch. So it creates the button. We do not have to do anything in sub actions. And the reason we don't have to do anything in sub actions, because it'll come up in chat that which user has redeemed stretch. With channel points, it automatically does that. Now, say for instance, you wanted hydrate. You could even do it with a stretch. You wanted hydrate, but you wanted a visual or you wanted a sound. So you could want the sound of somebody glugging water come out on the stream while you're doing the hydrate. Then you would create a sub action to bring that sound in. And we're going to look at bringing sounds in next. So again, you can create your triggers directly from in here for channel points, for commands, straight in your triggers, or you can do them directly within your channel point section of Twitch, and you can create them here. So channel points, the only difference with channel points when you set them up is, let's add one. Let's add a blank one. You create a title. The title is what comes up here. The word hydrate, biggest fan, first in stream. That's your title. The prompt is what comes up when you press the button and what comes up in this section here in the text. So it explains what they're purchasing with their channel points before they actually click on the redeem. Now, the value, the cost, I can change that cost. It is done automatically. Let's have a look. I can't check. Why am I not able to change that one? Because I don't control it. Let me change first. I've got to make sure I'm on the first in stream. So that is 1 channel point. Now I can change that to 10. Click on OK. That just means it's changed. Something has changed with that redeem. So you come out of it and you see it's changed to 10. Let me just put that back to 1 point. So first in stream, back to 1 point. So we've looked at channel points, basically the same to set up. The only difference being is you've got to set a cost. You set a prompt up. Redemption skips queue. So if you want it to skip the queue and jump to the head of the queue, you can use that. Max per stream. How many times do you want this to go off in your stream? Say you have a hype and you have a jump scare and you don't want, you're scared stiff of things jumping out at you all the time. You don't want that going off constantly throughout your stream. So you're going to limit how many times that can go off in your stream. So this one is set to 3 times per stream, and that is from the start to the end of your stream. Now, you do have to bear in mind, it does happen with Twitch, that Twitch signal breaks and you temporarily go off air, even if it's only for a split second. A split second, that will reset because it's classed as a new stream. As soon as your stream goes down and back up again, it's classed as a new stream. So if you set that to go off once per stream, because you don't want it going off constantly, if your stream goes down for whatever reason, it will go off again. Someone will be able to redeem it again. The other option you've got down here is maximum amount per user per stream. So you can limit the user and how many times it can be used. So again, this one will reset if you have an interruption in your stream. So they can only use it once per stream, but it can be used 3 times by 3 different people. You want a cooldown on there as well, so that it's not something that's going off in your face constantly. And I'm going to show you a good example of this now. And you can set the group up. But a good example of this is this one here. People like to get me with my flashbang. I've got an Elgato Stream Deck. I've got Elgato lights. I can connect all my Elgato gear to Streamer.bot. And I have flashbang. I also have thunder, 2 different variations. So these are channel point redemptions that cost 10,000 points. And the reason I've put them so high is because I don't want people coming into the stream that have never been in before and start spamming it. This is for people that are in there consistently. They're earning the points, they're watching you, they're earning them points, they're saving them up just so that they can do this to you. And if we go back to the actions, this flash bang consists of quite a bit of functionality to set up. So we've got a flash bang here and we've got the thunder. But as you can see here, all these are the different temperatures of light and brightness that cause this effect. So the flash bang has a delay for half a second. Remember, these are in milliseconds when they're on this section. When they're on cooldowns, they're in seconds. When they're in actions, they're in milliseconds. So this has a delay of half a second, and then it'll set that off at full brightness. And then we'll get a shotgun sound. That's what this is doing, bringing in the sound of a shotgun. And we're going to do that in just a second. We're going to show you how to bring sounds in as well. That will bring the sound of a shotgun in, and then wait for a 50th of a second before it changes to 10% brightness, and then 50th of a second again, and then change to 100%. Then we're going to get a set. Better than explaining what this is doing, let me do it for you, because you should get the full effect of this as well as me in my face. And this command, if I go back here, it is set at a 10,000 point channel point. But if we look in actions, there is also a command for it as well, which is exclamation FB. Now, if I go to commands and find exclamation FB, and I go into this command, grant type deny all, which means only I can do this. It's the same with the thunder. Only I can do it because it's set as deny all apart from me. This way, you get to test before you go live that it's working. So if I do the flash bang, this is what you get with a flash bang. And that's the flash bang. That's the lights flashing. So we're controlling the light flash. I'll be lurking. I've got opticians. No worries, Tibber. No worries. I'll see you in a bit, mate. See you in a bit. So you've got the flash bang. So you've got the interaction there. We're bringing the sound in. You've got the changing the temperatures and the volume of your Elgato lights, all running in unison to create that flash bang. Now, I do have a thunder one as well, so I'll set that one off as well. And this is all done through Streamer.bot. And this is done through loads of different interactions and volumetric settings for the lighting. And this should go off again. And imagine that being in a dark room. See you in a bit, Tibber. See you in a bit, mate. Imagine that being in a dark room when you are streaming and you are in concentration of a game. I get the volume louder than you do because I can control the volume down to you through OBS. But I get the full force of the volume in my logo. And we're going to go through sounds and bringing sounds in now. So what we're going to do, so that is for the lighting. So that's how we get that. So that's just different settings. So that's 10% brightness, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. So we've got all the percentages of brightness there. And then normal at the end so that it resets back to normal. When that thunder and that flashbang is finished, it will set back to normal. And the thunder, as you can see, that is a lot longer. And all this is all down to timing, getting the lights flashing at the right time, at the right temperatures, interacting with the sounds. It's the same with this one here. So this one I use for biddies. So anyone drops bits in my channel, this one, biddies, 1 to 99. So if they drop between 1 and 99 biddies, this action will happen. If they drop 100 to 499, this action will happen. And I'll show you what they are now. So what we can do as well is we can actually test these when we build them up. If we've set up channel points or commands, we don't have to consistently type that command in chat. We don't have to constantly press that channel redemption button. What we do is we go to trigger, right click on the trigger, and we've got test trigger. We test the trigger. That's what happens when someone drops biddies. And my comment then is, drop them biddies, see them push up. So what happens with this is that animation is on for different lengths of time. So as you can see, 1 to 99. It opens the image, which is stored in OBS. So it opens the source for 10 seconds and then closes the source. For the next stage up, for 100 to 499, it will stay open for 20 seconds. Plus, 100 bits also gets the flashbang as well. So what we've done here is we open the bits. I'll trigger it. It opens the bits. We get the flashbang. Because we've got more than 100 or more bits, it will activate the flashbang, wait for 20 seconds, and then close the biddies. And then we have that 2-second delay at the end, just to tidy everything up. I always stick a 2-second delay at the end of everything. So let's set this one off. That lets me know that either somebody has redeemed the flashbang, and I noticed that didn't go off then. I noticed that the biddies didn't go off. I'll deal with that later. So you can mix and match. And all I did for this one was open the image, close the image there after the set amount of time. But for this one, I sent this in the order to go to my flashbang action. This is what I said before. You can refer one sub action to another action. Just the same as we did with the hug, we can do it down here as well. Okay, we're going to look at bringing sounds in. You want to bring sounds. Most people want, you know, the emotional damage, GGs, whatever sound it is that you want to bring into your chat. So let's have a look at that. So if we go to actions, and I've got one coming, let me just have a look what I've got in my folder here. So this folder that we're going to use for sounds, I've got crab rate, I've got emotional damage, and we've got good morning, old friend in this folder. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go add, and we're going to call this one, I'll call this emotional damage. And don't forget, these can be whatever you want them to be. The group now, chat command, mods, we want this to be a sound alert. And the reason why we're differentiating between groups and queues, we can actually switch these on and off a little bit later on. And I'll show you how to do that as well. I'll show you how I've set it up in my other version of Streamer.bot. So on here, we're just going to call it sound, because we know it's a sound. So we're going to give it its own section of sound. You can put it in whatever group is comfortable. So you can remember this is only visible for the user. The sub action, what we want to do now is we're in core, bringing in a sound. Remember, we're bringing in a sound. So we want to go core, sound, and play sound. We don't have to put sound into OBS with using Streamer.bot. We don't need to do that. We can do it directly from here. All we need to do in OBS is link the sounds. So we've got to put in the audio pickup. So we go into OBS, and as a source, we would bring in a audio capture or an application audio capture. The same as anything else, the same as you'd bring the audio from your game in that we went through a couple of weeks ago. You just do the same with Streamer.bot. So application default, leave that as it is. Unless you have a different audio device, I would leave that where it is as a default. The sound file to play, click on the 3 dots, find the file you want to play. So I am going to go back to my C drive. Everything is in here and in my OBS and sounds. So we've got emotional damage. Now we've got a couple of options in here. If you have got multiple sounds going off, or you have a sound going off like I had before when I had that thunderstorm and I had that shotgun sound, if you want everything to hold until that sound is finished, make sure this box is ticked. If you want all your continuous flashes to go off at the same time as the sound, uncheck the box so that this tick box basically finish playing before continuing. I always uncheck that box just in case you tag anything else on later on. But in this instance, we don't need to. It's on as default. You have to make sure it's turned off. What you need to do though is you need to test this. And when you test it, you're testing for the volume. And remember, don't slide the slider up before you hit the test, because that is 200% to your ears. Protect your ears. Don't do it too loud. You're better off going small. Take it to 50%, unless you know it's allowed. So you test it.
Emotional damage.
You're listening to it. Now I know that I can take it up a little bit. I can take it up because some of these sounds come through and they're horribly loud. So now we're at 100%.
Emotional damage.
I get that at 100% regardless, because I get the audio from Streamer.bot in my ears. I can control the audio that goes out to the stream by using the volume slider, because we're pulling in the audio source. So once we've got the audio right, we click on OK. Now we can set it up to a channel point. So what we want to do is go to, we can go to YouTube, channel rewards, reward redemption. We don't have it set up yet, so we can create new and just call it emotional damage. Emotional damage. Put a cost of whatever you want in there. So you can set that up wherever you want. This option here, user input required, it's basically you'd use that for something like TTS. So they'd redeem the TTS and then they have to write something to send to chat for it to work. What we could do is, where we had that before when I used the hug command and we used that catch all, we had hug rando. But if they didn't put a name in afterwards, theoretically, we could tick that box there to make sure that they did put a user in. So they would be forced to, and it'd make them think that, you know, who am I hugging? It'd make them think that they had to write something. What do they have to put for that action to actually work? So that's what that's for. You have to put something in, some form of text. Again, you've got everything else set out as you normally would, with your max uses per stream, max per user per stream, your global cooldowns. You click on OK, create reward. Hang on, I just created the reward. You click on OK, and then emotional damage will be in here, and we can redeem it.
Emotional damage.
And it's in there as a channel point redemption. I am going to remove it because I am using my live Twitch channel. So I am going to delete the trigger, and make sure you do delete the trigger, not just pause it. Because if you pause it, it will still be in your channel points if you don't want it there anymore, like mine still is. It shouldn't be. It probably will disappear. It just hasn't done yet. What else was we going to... Oh, the other thing we can do is sounds as well. There is another option with sounds. So what we can do here, I am going to add another sound. So we're in the sound section. I'm going to add, and we're going to call this one Happy Birthday. So we're on Happy Birthday. We're going to leave it as sound. So in the sub actions, again, we're going to go to core because it's a sound that we're picking up through Streamer.bot. And we're going to play sound from a folder. Now, this is when you can have a random sound come out. So what we do here, application default again, but now we've got to pick the folder rather than the actual sound itself. So I will go to this PC, so my C drive, OBS Studio, YouTube. Excuse me, it's in OBS. Then we've got sounds. And in my sounds, I have a birthday folder, which is, I'll bring that over onto the screen. This birthday folder has got different happy birthday sounds in it. So it's got a stack so that it's not the same thing all the time. So you can have it or play random audio files. And it'll play MP3, OGGs, it'll play a variety through Streamer.bot. So what we want to do is pick that folder. So it's birthday, okay. Finish playing before continuing. Now this personally I would, because it's random, some of them are longer than others. So I would leave that there. So we need to test it.
Oh, hi, Kermit the Frog here. I just learned that it was your birthday and didn't want to forget. So here I am to say, happy birthday!
There you go, Kermit the Frog saying happy birthday. That's quite a long
happy
one.
Birthday. See ya.
You can't see what's in there at the minute, but if we click OK and then go back in it, it will populate. So in here, what it's done is it's populated that random sound with everything that is in that folder. So now when I do it again, I'll click on test. It should give me something different.
I just wanted to say happy birthday to such an icon. May God bless you with many, many more. You are great. You deserve everything good under the sun.
Happy birthday.
So we're getting a random one every time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
Wait till this one's finished.
to you. Happy birthday
This one's quite a long one.
to you.
Come on, finish. And what we can do with this one is we're going to create a command for this one. So command triggered. Again, we're going to create, this time what we're going to do, we're not going to do exclamation birthday. What we're going to do is just birthday. And now we can have this go anywhere. So someone could say, it's such and such a body's birthday today. If they put it in that chat anywhere, it will pick one of them out. If it's my birthday, you know, it's my birthday, it's their birthday, it's whoever's birthday. That word birthday without the exclamation, it will now pick it up from anybody and it will play that tune wherever it is, because it's not a command as such. It's physically picking up a word. Now, another thing that we can do with this one from birthday, if you did notice when I shown this file, I do have what's called birthday lines. So if we go into here, we have got a text file. Now, in this text file, it says something different on every line. So these are, I wish you a happier birthday than anyone else has wished you. Don't count the candles, enjoy your day. Age is just a number. Happy stuff your face with cake day. What we can do is, like we can do it to pick a random tune from a folder, we can get it to pick a random line from a file. So what we'll do, we'll incorporate that into this one here. So now what we do is we go to core, and I've literally forgot where it is. I have there, file IO, and it's read random line from a file. So you've got specific line, read lines, read random line from file, files to read from. So you'd create the file that it's going to read from. So you just link to it, link the file, and it's going to count one. We only want it to do one line from that file. So now it's going to play a tune and it's going to put out one line into the chat. Let's see what we get. So what we can do is, again, here we can test the trigger.
I was shaking, shaking, shaking.
It's waiting until it's finished before it puts the line of text in. So it's waiting for that to finish before it puts the line of text in. And now it should put the line of text in. I know why it hasn't. Because I forgot one important thing. I have got it to pull a random line of text, but I haven't told it where to output it. What we need to do is Twitch, chat. That was another rookie mistake. Send message to channel. So now what we want to do is we want to put that random line in. So all we need to do for this, send random line. So it's percent random line percent. Again, camel case, lowercase r, capital L. That's all we need to do because that's all it's going to output is that random line of text. We don't need anything else. So now it's going to output that random line. But as we noticed then, the sound played before it was going to do anything else. So what we'd have to do is finish playing before continuing. Turn that off so that the text comes out at the same time as the sound is going off. We'll try it now. Now it should work. It won't work because I've misspelled the word random and I hit the N instead of the M. It's random line, not random line. So now we can test it and now it should work. There you go. So now that did it at the same time. So hope you have a wild time today. Just keep your mind, it was my birthday. It's not an actual legal defense. If anyone wants any of these, drop a comment in chat and I'll, you know, I can sort these files out. It's dropping my other stuff out as well in that chat. I can easily export and import some of these things to you. I have a lot of stuff that I have with Streamer.bot over different versions of Streamer.bot. But that's how you do sounds from a folder, individual sounds, read random lines from a file, how to output them to your chat. Let me get rid of that. And I'm going to show you some of the other interactions that I've got on my main Streamer.bot now. Some of the things that you can actually do. And there are a lot of things that you can do with Streamer.bot. I'm currently building a giveaway bot up at the minute. So that is going to be demoed. I'll do a, you know, a short or something, you know, how to do that, you know, how it works and everything when I get round to finishing it off. I'm close to finishing it. I'm doing it for a friend of mine, building it for a friend of mine, but it's, you know, once I build it, it's mine and I just let other people use it. So on actions, what we've got here is first in stream. So you probably noticed that up here. That emotional damage is still there. I'm going to have to deal with that emotional damage. Why that is still coming up. I don't think it's here anymore. It's not. That's disappeared from there. Let me just go into here. It is definitely not there anymore as a command. And it is still there. It is still there on here. Let me see. Do I still use it in my main one? Do I still use it? Yes, I do. So that'll be why it's still there. So not to worry. I'll deal with that after the stream. But what we are going to have a look at now is different things. So first in stream. So setting up a first in stream, which is this one here. What we're doing with this one is with the action, so first in stream, we're leaving that as none because it doesn't need to be anywhere. Add target information from who redeemed. So that is the user. So the user's redeemed it. The Twitch message that goes out will be, user was here first and should feel like they are the biggest broadcast user fan. So when you're using broadcast user, which is yourself, you use lowercase b, capital U for the camel case again. So that sends that message out into chat. But we want something a little bit more interactive than that. What we can do is we can change the name of the title to the person that redeemed it. So when we go down here and we go on to Twitch rewards, I keep losing where I am on here. Twitch rewards, we can set the cost, which we're going to have a look at in just a second. We can set the title. And what this does is you select the button being this first in stream. So you select the button from the drop down, which is all your rewards. All these are all in this list. You can choose the one you want and you can set the title. And again, you can use variables. So user was first. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to test it here because it will literally put the variable because nobody's used it. So if I click on OK here, and again, I'll put the 2-second delay at the end. I do that with everything. I just use that as a safeguard. But now if I click on first in stream and I redeem it, who got here first? I redeem that. That button's name now changes to whoever redeemed it. Their name is there throughout the course of your stream, constantly on that button. And when you set this up, you set this up through your channel points, and you set this up as, where's my first in stream? Oh, it's changed its name. That's why I couldn't find it. What you do is you set this up, maximum uses per stream, and you'll set that as 1. It can only be used once because there can only ever be one first. So you set that up as 1. You don't need to put anything else in. The downside of it when you're testing, you have to put it at 0, because if you put it at 1 and I go back to the channel points and I try to redeem it, you can only redeem whilst you are live. So it stops redeems going off. So as soon as you put a cooldown on it, then that will automatically lock out until you are live. Have it at 0, and you can do it when you are offline as well. Now, the bad thing about this, and we'll do it on the next one as well, is you see that that button has actually changed its name. When you go offline and you come back online again, that name is still going to be there, and somebody else can redeem it, but they don't know what that button is because it still says Fated Chronicles was first. So what you would have to do is go into channel points, go into this first, and change it back to who is first in stream. And that is for every stream. But there is a way around that, and I'm going to show you that in just a second, just after we show you this next button. So this next button is the biggest fan. The biggest fan button, again, this pulls in the user information. So whoever redeems it, it's going to stick that into a variable. It's going to output a chat message for the user that redeemed it, has spent lots of their points to feel like they are the biggest broadcast user fan. That's percent broadcast user, percent fan. The reward set title, the same as before, we can use variables. Percent is going to be the biggest fan. So it says user percent is our biggest fan. So that will change the name of that button. But we're taking this one step further with this one, because you can only have one first, but you can have multiple biggest fans. So what we do for this now is the same as before. We choose the button that we want to amend, this case, the biggest fan, and we can change the cost. So the cost is set to 10 as a starting cost, 10. And we change the cost to 10, but this operator, none, add, subtract, multiply, divide. We click add. This will add 10 every time it's redeemed. And every time it's redeemed, the name will change for who redeemed it as well. So what we do is we'll redeem it. So we redeem it. It's come up with a message. Fates Chronicles have spent lots of their points to try and feel like Fates Chronicles fan. But if we look at the button's changed its name and it's gone up by 10 points. I'll do it again. It's bringing out the same message because it's the same person that's done it. But it's gone up to 30. So what do we do with the channel point redemption on this one? So if we go to the channel point redemption and go to the biggest fan, we can actually set this up to not once per stream, leave that as unlimited, so leave that at 0, but once per user per stream. So they can't then reclaim it and be the biggest fan over somebody else. It stopped someone constantly trying to be the top. They've got to redeem it at the right time to be that, you know, to be the top fan. So you would have that set to 1 time per user per stream. But for testing purposes, we do have to have it at 0. And if you wanted to test it to make sure that that was working without coming in here, again, all you would do is we are on biggest fan. You go test trigger. It's gone up to 40. Test trigger. It's gone up to 50. And it's pulling in random names just to test it out. Test trigger. 60. So what happens when you close down? You've now got 2 buttons that you have to correct before every single stream, which can become a pain if you stream a lot. If you stream daily, the last thing you want to be thinking about is, how many buttons have I got to reset? You know, what have I done everything? Is everything sorted? What we can do then is we can bring in, I've just called it in an admin section. So I have all this is all the admin stuff that goes on in this section, stream reset. And what happens with this is we can go on here and set reward title. So we do it exactly the same as we did for, so we can actually copy and paste them buttons in as we did before. So we would go to biggest fan, and only where we're changing the title. In fact, we need to do it for the cost as well on this one. We then go down to stream reset. So we've got the title. So this is the title on the first in stream, and we're changing it back to first in stream. So that's what it changed to. And these titles are dynamic. So don't worry about that being different to what it's going to be dependent on who used it. Once it has rewrote the title to somebody else's name, that will, if I go back over there, so we've got that one is first in stream. So that's Fates Chronicles was first in stream. So if I go back to first in stream and I do a random, if I do a test, that's changed to Doll's Tombstone was first. And now if I go back to stream reset, you see that button? It's dynamic, has changed, and it will still change back to first in stream when we set the trigger off. And we'll get to that. So we're going to set that to change back. The reward cost, again, this is also dynamic. It also pulls in the cost, and it's going to set the cost back to 10 with the operator of none. We don't want it to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. We want it to do nothing. We just want it to set it to 10. And the other thing we need to do, I'm going to just copy that one. So I'm just, in fact, I don't need to copy it because I'm in the same sub-action section. I can actually duplicate. We copy and paste when we're going between actions. Within the same action, we can duplicate. What we're doing here is this one is for first in stream. We also need to change the title of Green Das is the biggest fan. And we need to change that back to who is the biggest fan. Who is the biggest fan? Exclamation. So that changes that back to who is the biggest fan. Now, when you finish streaming, you're going to close Streamer.bot. Watch these. Watch these here. I'm going to close Streamer.bot and I'm going to reopen it because I've set a trigger. This trigger here, if we go to Twitch and we go to connections, we can choose broadcaster chat connected. So this is when Streamer.bot is connected to the chat of Twitch, because that's what section that we're in. So if I close down Streamer.bot, they stay the same. But as soon as I open Streamer.bot, it auto connects because we've set it up to auto connect. Just trying to make sure we catch it. It's not, it takes a couple of seconds to connect. Then buttons will reset. So we don't have to worry anymore about having to change the buttons back to their original state. They will change automatically because we have set up an action here that resets. And all we need to do is anything that needs resetting, put it in here. This action will make sure it's reset. Whether it's resetting a scene in OBS, it can be anything. Anything this can connect to, OBS, Polypop, going through your settings, Speaker.bot, Streamlabs, YouTube, Elgato, integrations. I could set this up for my Elgato. Well, I wouldn't. I'd set it up for, let's have a look. If I wanted to make sure my light was at the same percentage of value every time I turned it on, I could set this to Elgato, example, version 2, 100%. So what I'd do here, I'd go to core, actions, run action. I'd find the action that runs it 100%. That I'm only doing this so that you see the action working. That's set to 100%. Click there on OK. Now, even if my Elgato's turned off, I will turn it off. My key light's turned off. Yeah, you're getting a bit of blur there because of the lighting. I will shut down Streamer.bot. Now, when I open Streamer.bot, it'd reset the buttons if they changed, and it will also turn my light on at full volume. It should turn it on. There we go. And it's at full volume. I don't want it at full volume. What I'd actually do was, I only did that as an example, but if I wanted to set it up proper, what I'd do is stream reset, and I wouldn't set it up as full volume. I would set it up as normal. That is my normal setting. That is my average setting. So I'll just switch them back. That's 25% brightness, 7,000K lumens. And that would set that up so it'd turn my lights on for me. It'd reset all my buttons for me. It does everything. What else can we do? First words. When someone comes into your stream and says hi or hello, the first time they come in, it's not set off by a command. They might come in and say, you know, sup, what's up, whatever they say. The first words that anybody speaks, we can actually capture that. And we capture that through platform, and it's captured through settings, and it's first words. Now this here, we have set to 8 hours. That's what I normally have it as. I'd never stream more than 8 hours. Don't have this set to something too high, but don't have it set too low either. 8 hours, I normally stream for 3 to 5 hours when I stream. So 8 hours is the nice balance. So this will reset every 8 hours. But remember, if you're doing a 12, 24-hour stream, this will reset after 8 hours. So you can have people coming into your chat, get their first response at the 7 hours, 50-minute mark. This will reset at 8 hours. If they then say something, they will get that first response again. So this has to be longer than the stream you are currently doing. So if you're doing a 12-hour stream, set it for 13 hours. You're doing a 24-hour stream, set it for 25 hours. Just so that this is beyond the scope of what you're doing. If you're doing a subathon, then you want to set this up. You're not going to go over 100 hours. Set it up to 100 and then hit reset. So just be mindful of the timing when you do first words. And again, that is under Twitch settings, first words. I'm just going to put that back to 8 hours. And we're going to get back to how do you capture that? So first words, we've got to add the target information for the person that redeemed it. So anybody can come in and say something in chat. And that's going to capture them. So it captures their username. It's then going to send a message to chat. Hi, whoever the user is that redeemed, who didn't redeem it, whoever spoke, welcome to the stream. Get ready for some epic gaming and community fun. And then we'll put the cooldown. So now I've reset it. It will even do it for the broadcaster. Oh, what we need to do is the trigger. I keep forgetting this trigger. The trigger, what we use is Twitch. And I'm forgetting where it is now. Twitch, is it? I think it's chat. It is not. I have forgot where it is now. I need to put this in my favorites. It's another one into my favorites. Let's find it. Because it is here. It's in Twitch General. That's it. Twitch General first words. So that will capture the first word. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on that. It's something that you probably only use once. So you don't necessarily have to stick this into your favorites. Because once you've set first words up, you're not going to need to use it again. So now, if I go in here, it doesn't matter what I type. I've reset it, so it's captured me as the first thing that I've said in chat, whether that be somebody that raids over, somebody that just drops in, somebody that's always in your channel. The first time they speak on that stream, and remember, the reset does count, so if Twitch has an issue, Twitch goes down and back up again. It will count as a separate stream, so it's still, in fact, in this case, it is not. Because it's got an 8-hour reset, it will not capture them again until after that 8-hour period. Just welcome to the stream, get ready. So that's how you would do a first words in stream. Other instances that you might have is you might have a sponsored stream going on. So a company may sponsor you to do a segment on your stream for them. A game company might go in touch with you to do promote a game for them. What you don't want while you're promoting that game is alerts going off all the time. And you don't want to be going in and having to manually turn off all your sound alerts from your channel points, all your sound alerts from your commands. That's going to take forever. What you want to do is, I have this one here called sponsored stream, and it's a little bit longer than it should be because there is a shorter way of doing this now. But what I've done here, everything is listed that I want to turn off. But we don't have to do it that way. This is actually the long way of doing it. Yeah, it works, but it's not the most efficient way of doing this. What we can do is Twitch, and we can go down to rewards. So what I've done there is we can go to set enable state. So set enable state lets you set it as enabled, disabled, or you can toggle it. But what we want to do is we've got two options. Remember, we've set everything up here in groups. So we've got fun group, commands group, chat commands group. We have got a Faz group. We've got sound alerts group. We've got a videos group. So we can go down here, go to Twitch, go to rewards, and we can do it via group. So we can set group enable state. So we type in the group name for this one, and it has to be exact. And then we can set that to enable, disable, toggle. But it has to be exact. So capital S, capital A with the space, Twitch events. So that has to be exact. We can do it with the Q as well. So if we go to core, and it is in here. Right, so we've got the Twitch, we've got the reward state. There is one that you can do for a queue state as well. And I'm trying to fathom where that's gone. I need to put these in my favorites. I really do. Cut sound Twitch, where it's definitely not in there as it is at the minute. So we've got actions, we've got C#, we've got files, we've got globals, we've got logic, we've got MIDI, we've got miscellaneous, network, quotes, sounds, system, timers, users, and voice. It's none of them. Believe me, it's in there. Settings, no, it's definitely in there. It's definitely in there somewhere that you can actually set it for a queue. So we can set it to turn off just your sound effects if it's in that queue. And I honestly thought it was under core. Am I just missing it? Have I just skimmed over it? So we've got commands that we can do as well. So we can set command groups, enable, disable, or toggle. I know it's there. I'm not going to spend all day looking for it. I know it's there. I just can't seem to see where it is. Because I know it's definitely not in that. It should be in core. It should, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. So that is how you would turn off sound. So all you would do, set a command up. So I would do !SS for sponsored stream. Make it so that only you can use it. And that will turn off all of your sound alerts. Now, if I do it now, you will see this. These are all my alerts that are on my Twitch channel at the minute. Now, if I go in there and I do !SS, sponsored stream, you will see all of these turning off. You see it all moving. The only ones that are active are the ones I want active then. Emotional damage, first in stream, who's the biggest fan, and sound alert, bitch, which should come off anyway. Well, that's from the game that I play, because I play Warframe. Well, that turns them all off so they can't be redeemed. It's turned all my videos off. It's turned everything off. Now, I've got it set up to toggle. So what I would do is !SS again to turn them all back on again. You see them all popping back in again. So now they can be used by your viewers again. That's turning them off temporarily. Another thing that you can do as well is if you are talking about something and your chat is constantly spamming these sounds, you don't have to turn them off. What you can literally do is put them on hold. So what you do here is, and this is actually where it is here, because this is the queue, hold, action queue, pause state. So what you can do is the queue is sound alerts. So where all the sound alerts are, we can pause them if you put !hold in chat. And then you just send a message out to chat. I have temporarily put redeems on hold. Your redeems will commence shortly. Please refrain from spamming the redeems for this short period. So while you're talking about something, you don't want to be interrupted. You're doing a sponsored segment. You can actually put them on pause. And then you can unhold them again by bringing them back in onto resume. Sound alerts resume. Now you do have one option here for clear. What this is for is if you notice that when you put your channel into pause for your sound alerts, all it does is pauses the sound, not the queue. So what happens is if people are spamming it, you'll see it coming up in chat as redeemed Crab Rave, has redeemed emotional damage without the sound actually going off. If you don't select that clear button and you then go back in and go on, do !unhold, they will all systematically play back to back. And if people have redeemed 10, 20, 30 sound alerts, they are going to go off and drive you crazy. So what you do here, clear. That will clear that queue. It'll wipe it clean. And then when this comes on, there are no sounds playing. And then you just send a message, your redeems are now active. If they become spammer, I will put them on hold again. because you do get these trolls that come in and set them off constantly. And people know that when you put it on hold, that they do queue, and they'll drive you crazy when you turn them back on. So make sure you hit that clear to clear the queue. You have given them the warning when you've put it on hold. You've put it in the chat message. They'll commence shortly. Refrain from spamming the redeems for this short period. So you have put that in there. Anything else we need to go through? Timers. Timers, again, are what they are. They are basically, let's go over to integration stream app. I forget where timers are now. Timed actions. So I have a referral. I play a game called Warframe. You just put a timer in. So you'd right click, you go on to add, name what you want it to be, the interval you want it at, which is in seconds, and the lines. You can do it as a random as well. So if you did random, you could set this to go off, say between, remember 300 seconds is 5 minutes. So you'd go 600 and 1200. That means they wouldn't go off consistently at the 600 second mark. They'd go off somewhere between randomly. But if you've got lines set as well, it will count the lines of chat as well. And if it does, it has to meet both the 600, which is the minimum, 600, and the amount of lines. If it's 0, then that is, you know, infinite, or no lines of chat. It'll just do it. But with both of them set, you'd have to have a set amount of lines and a set amount of time to pass before it will activate. Now, if it gets to 600 seconds and there are no lines of chat and you've set it to 2, it will not go off. What it'll do is it'll wait another 600 seconds and try again. What it won't do, though, is wait 600 seconds again and look for 2 set lines of text since the last time. It's since the last time that it produced that timed action. But let's just cancel that out 1 second. And if we go back to actions, all you would do here is go to your triggers. You go to core and timed actions, and then link it to your timed actions like anything else. That's set up exactly the same. So what have we gone through? We've gone through sound that you can bring in, your files, random lines, doing a random number generator, actions into actions. You can use this for bringing your socials in, which would be on timed actions as well. What else have we got down here? We've got videos. We can actually use these actions to utilize filters within the stream and scenes and sources as well. So if I wanted to bring up my Faz, if I were playing Faz, I could bring up my Faz overlay that has all my evidence on it and everything, and that would bring it all up onto the screen, and I could do that through Streamer.bot. I actually do it through Stream Deck, but I could do it through Streamer.bot as well. If I wanted to, say, use a color correction and make my face green, so, you know, get mad, you know, rage quit in the game and go Incredible Hulk, you could put a green filter on, a green color correction on my camera, and then someone could redeem that when you start raging out and make you into the Incredible Hulk. And that could be done through Streamer.bot through a command as well. There are a number of things that you can actually use this for. This bot is just so awesome. It is the only bot that I use now. I don't use any other bot. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to show you on this basic introduction to Streamer.bot. We've gone through random lines of text. I've gone through everything I needed to go on there. Oh, extensions. Import and export. The last big thing that we need. So import and export with extensions. Where do we get extensions for Streamer.bot from? So we just put in Streamer.bot extensions, and this is where we're going. Now, there are a number of extensions in here created by some awesome people in the community. They are awesome people in the community that create these. And, you know, all credit goes to all of them. Main ones that I use are Terry Darts's, but there are no, and if you want something, these have got it. So let me just pick a few out for you. If I come back a page, I just want to go in here and go to the main page. So known bots list, spinning mood ring emoji wheel, extended hugs, groovy lighting control. This can control the lighting, light bulbs as well. You know, your Philips Hue lights, and control all them as well. King and Queen of the Hill, automated chat polls, phasmophobia evidence in chat. That's the one I was talking to you about. User inventory, log viewers, reaction, time-based quick draw duels, pronouns. All these, only use the ones that are approved. Got Magic 8 Ball, subathon, countdown timers. Let me pick something that I may or may not use. I'm not going to go into that because that will automatically, you put in exclamation BRB and all this basically just changes to your BRB screen. We've got your Elgato lighting control. Mine is not using this one. I've done the one that I use is the one I've done myself. I'm trying to think of something that's really good and I could maybe use. In fact, it doesn't really matter because what we're mainly doing is showing you how to import and export. So follower bot protection. This is something that you're going to need when you're streaming. So what we're going to do here is follower bot protection. You just click on the name. This brings up a full description. So let's check if this allows or other follower bots won't continue a sub action. If it is, this is the code we're going to copy in a second. But we've got installation instructions. It shows you how to do it. So I'm going to show you now how to do it. We've got configuration instructions. Insert follows action, after comment, and bot check follows. It tells you what you need to do. And then there's a different version of it here as well, where you've got a compiler in C#. And it, you know, it's easy enough to do. It's easy enough to do. But for doing import export, all we need to do is go to the top one. This is the C# version. When you copy this, you're copying all this code. This is Streamer.bot code, not C# code. So Streamer.bot will know exactly what this is and build it for you. So we're clicking on copy. Make sure you don't copy any spaces at the end or at the beginning because it will break. Let's move that out the way because we've done that now. We do need to follow the instructions that it shows, but for this, we're just showing you how to bring it in. Is this my other Streamer.bot? I want to make sure I'm using my other Streamer.bot. Yes, I am. So what we do here is we go on import and we want to paste everything that we've just copied into this top section. And again, make sure there are no spaces at the end. You'll know they're not because you'll get the name check. It's a bot check. It's a bot check follow. It will list. It's probably not the best one to do, but it'll show you all the actions it's bringing over, all the cute. In fact, it's totally not the best one to bring over. Let me bring something different over because I want to bring something in that's got multiple sections for you. I am just going to whiz down and choose. Trying to think of something that's actually got what we need. That's got a lot in it. So VR Flad's another one. But we've got a shout out, a mega shout out. This one is by Terry Darts, another awesome creator of these extensions for Streamer.bot. So I'm just going to copy that. So again, we'll paste it in. And it's make sure there is nothing at the end. So what we've got here is brought over two actions, which is the mega shout out and an on-screen shout out. it's brought over the queue, which is the shout outs queue. And if it had any commands, it would bring over the commands as well. And all we do then is click on import. The only thing to remember is we've got to set some stuff up on this one in OBS. So as long as you follow the instructions, it will tell you exactly how to do that, setting it up in OBS. And again, we've got stuff in OBS here. The only thing to remember is if any commands come over, because we brought over actions and sub-actions, if any commands come over, they come over deactivated. What we need to do then is just go in and just click on activate. And you'll know the deactivated because anything that's deactivated is red. So all you do is you come in, click on enable, and then it's active. And that's always the case when you are importing anything from anywhere into Streamer.bot. Commands are always deactivated. They're always disabled. If you want to send this out anywhere to a friend, when you've built something in here and you want to send it to a friend, all we'd do here is we would right click on the area that we want, add to export, and make sure that you add everything that you want to go to the export. Everything that's connected. So that'd be your commands. You don't need to do sub actions because they're part of actions. And then you go to export, make sure everything's in there. So you've got your mega shout out, your on sub shout out. You can then call it whatever you want, the author, description, and then export it to a file. It'll create a file. I'm just going to send this straight to my downloads folder. Give it a name. I'm just going to call this one test for now, if I can actually spell. And we'll save that. Exported action to downloads test. Do you want to clear your export now? Yeah, we'll clear it to clear it out of the memory. Now, if I go on here and go to downloads, it's downloaded it to a test file. We open that test file. It's not done the .txt at the end of it, but it doesn't matter because we can still open it anyway. So open with Notepad, edit with Notepad. And that basically is that similar to the string of text we used on the import. And all somebody would do then is just copy this and paste it into theirs. And then they've got exactly the same as you. So you can work on something together as long as you keep sharing that import and export file. So I hope this has been a big help to you out there with, you know, a little bit of information about everything that's going on within Streamer.bot. But Streamer.bot can take the place of all other bots. It really can. Stream Elements, Nightbot, Moodbot, Wisebot, it can do everything they can do and more. And this basically is just a little snippet of what Streamer.bot can do. Again, remember, if you know C#, you can come in here, you can go to core, C#, and you can execute code. You can actually write your own C# code to do whatever you want Streamer.bot to do. Learn C#, learn about the raw inputs for OBS, learn about raw inputs for Twitch, YouTube, and any other platforms. You can connect with APIs as well. This bot is endless and it is growing all the time. It is getting better and better with every release. And I know a lot of people say that it's ugly. You know, it looks ugly. Sorry, Nate. People do, but I don't think it is. I think it's better than it ever was. We never used to have this trigger section. We constantly had to bounce between tabs when we were doing our actions. Everything is becoming streamlined. And you can also bring ChatGPT into your chat if you want as well. I'm not going to go into there because that's, again, beyond the scope of what we're doing. but you can bring Chat GPT and AI into your stream. I have done it. I have used it in my streams over on Twitch in the past. It is really good the way it utilizes Chat GPT and using them variables and just making funny, quirky comments about people. Anything is possible with this bot. And big congratulations goes out to Nate and the rest of the Streamer.bot crew for creating such an awesome streaming bot. All we need now is for it to be able to be used through other streaming platforms as well. It's mainly used at the minute for YouTube and Twitch. Occasionally I'll stream on Kick. You know, it doesn't connect to Kick yet, but who knows, Nate? Who knows? It may connect to there one day. It may do. Who knows? But if you have any issues with Streamer.bot, I do help people build actions and sub actions to do what they need to do within their stream. Do reach out in the comments below. Do reach out. Let me know what you think of Streamer.bot. And don't forget to come and check me out over on Twitch as well, playing Warframe and a number of other games as well. It's Fated Chronicles over there as well. Fated Chronicles across the board, across my Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. Fated Chronicles. Do come and check me out. Leave some comments below, please do. If you think I didn't cover certain areas, let me know, and I will create another video and I'll cover the areas that you want me to cover. If you need some personal help, do reach out as well through the comments. If I can help you, if it's a quick help, then yeah, by all means, I will come and help you. Otherwise, you can go to my Ko-fi page. My Ko-fi page again is Fated Chronicles, and you can commission me for some work over there as well. And I can do anything with your Twitch, with OBS, with Streamer.bot, with other bots as well. I don't mind learning other bots to see how they use streams the way that Streamer.bot does. If you need help with anything and it's quick, write in the comments. I'll get back to you. If it's something a little bit bigger and something a bit personalized to you, go to my Ko-fi page and just commission me for some work. I'll catch you next time, guys. It's been absolutely awesome. And I hope I didn't confuse you too much with Streamer.bot. And don't forget, I am only a comment away. Reach out, please do. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help all streamers. I have done for a long time, and I will do for some time to come as well. Catch you next time, guys. I'm not sure what we're doing next week or the week after, but it's always something technical like this. I'll see you later. Spandy, if you're still there, I'll see you later. Bap as well, I'll see you later. Tibet, I hope everything's gone okay at the opticians. See you next week, guys. Have fun. Have a great weekend. Catch you later.